tour bus. Bring it to the check, took a short cut. Like when I made all not the cable. No, side, no, fold, line, frost.
In. So bad.
Haven't done my taxes, I'm too turned up. Virgil got a paddock on my wrist going nuts. Niggas caught me slipping once, okay, so what? Someone hit your block up, I tell you if it was us. Man, a house in Rosewood, this shit too plush.
It's cool, man. Got red bottles on. Life is good. You know what I mean?
$100,000 for the cheapest ring on the nigga finger, little bitch. I done flew out to Spain to be in my domain, automobile, bitch. Dropped $3 on the ring, cause it been the truck, little bitch. I was in the trap, serving cocaine, they ain't been the same since. Granny, she was standing right there while I killed the play on the brick. I made them little niggas go haywire, Taliban in this bitch. I done been down mad in them trenches, had to ride with that shit. Who gave you pills and gave that dust, pull them central on the lick. Too many cars.
My last made me feel like I would never try again, but when I saw you, I felt something I never felt. Come closer, I'll give you all my love. If you treat me right, baby, I'll give you everything. Again, cause I'm sick of falling down. When I open up again, my trust, they find a way to break it down.
So, you still recording? Yeah. So I want to talk about what happened here. I fell back on that rep here, turn this way, move this way just because the microphone. Alright, so I almost ate shit on that rep. And the reason is I'm okay with that because I'm trying to work on something very specific, which is getting my weight back on my heels and taking my rib cage back behind me. And the reason I'm doing this, I'm out of breath. The reason I'm doing this is that a huge part of your positional tightness, overall awareness and control will come from, I feel like someone's behind me and I'm also terribly out of breath. So give me a second. Alright, so a huge part of your positional awareness, a huge part of your control in the squat comes from your positional awareness and ultimately making sure that your center of mass is kind of biased toward the heel. And I have this tendency to really let my rib cage get out in front of me, super extended, and my weight will be on my toes. So to overcorrect, my body kind of reaches back. So when I sit into my hips, instead of loading them naturally and letting myself sit into my hips, I kind of reach back and my center of mass wobbles, it teeters about that midfoot. So when you're squatting, ideally, you want to keep that pressure constant. You want your weight on your heels, you want good toe pressure, but you want your center of mass over your heels. And midway through that set, I almost fell backwards and ate shit. So I talk about this a lot with my lifters, and ultimately, you have to be focused on whatever adjustment you're trying to make and not necessarily the outcome at first. Like that set, the bar might have rolled down my back a little bit, like it didn't feel that great, but I'm not upset with that because I'm trying to work on something very specific, and there are gonna be things that don't go, exactly how you want them to. Again, so much comes back to what I talked about in my last video, how like baseball taught me so much shit. Like when I would go to hitting lessons with my batting coach, and we'd try to work on something, he'd be like, oh, I need you to kind of land on a softer front foot. And I'd try that and fucking hit a shitty grounder And I get pissed, and he's like, no, you're working on the adjustment. Focus on the adjustment, and then everything will come after that. So I'm not mad. I mean, it's kind of scary, but I'm not mad that I just fell back during that, because that tells me that my weight is not distributed past my midfoot forward. It's actually staying behind me. So I'm gonna take another set there. I have 4 sets of 8 today. Gonna do 501 for the next set, and then probably drop to 484 for the next 2. But warm-ups felt really bad, and then it kind of turned around with the top single. So overall, I'm feeling like today is starting off pretty productive, and then bench is just boring volume. But you know, squats are the lift that give me trouble. So the more sessions I can string together like this, finally, you know, figuring out what it is I need to be doing, I think I'll be in good shape. I actually spent last night watching like a million videos of my squat from last year when things were really fucking strong, and I just did such a good job of keeping my rib cage behind me, so to speak. Behind me. Obviously, I'm my own person, but the rib cage is not out over my midfoot, and I was loading my hips really well, and just need to get back to that. I'm feeling good. Yet another week of 165 being the gauge set before going up. I took 182.5 for my second set, and it was definitely overshot. My feet were slipping, and it felt heavy. So definite overshoot. I went up from last week marginally, but it was just too big of a jump. However, 402 for 7 reps is literally 1 rep away from the most I've done with it. So on a day where I don't feel good, spicy. Bench is getting really fucking strong right now. I think I'm gonna double my all-time PR very soon. So what I'm gonna do now is drop back down to 167.5, which will be a 2.5 kilo increase from the percentage drops that I've been doing for the past couple of weeks, which we're at 165. Overall, leg drive is feeling the best it has in a while. Like, I feel like I can really keep my rib cage up with my feet. And yeah, man, bench is gonna give me, it's gonna give me a big fucking one-up, you know, next nationals for sure. I think it's gonna be a big, what's the word I'm looking for? It's gonna bridge a gap for sure. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tuesday's video. We are here benching today. I hate bench only days because I come in and I feel achy, and then I get under the bar. Like, your blood doesn't flow. You don't feel warm just like bench pressing. I much prefer benching after squatting. So I had to do a bunch of moving around and all that good warm-up stuff to get the blood flowing today. I finally got a new pair of wrist wraps. I've been using Nick's like a fucking mooch for the past couple months because I got one of my wrist wraps stolen at Nationals, and obviously I can't do anything with that. But I feel really good today. We're about to take my top single, which you guys will see in a second. I feel much better than yesterday, despite not really getting any sleep tonight, or last night rather. It's so annoying how, like, okay, everybody who knows me knows that I go to bed super late, like 5, 6, sometimes 7 in the morning. But when I do, I sleep uninterrupted throughout the night, like 7, 8 hours, just completely deep sleep, knocked the fuck out. I went to bed last night at 12:30, early time, normal human hours, and I woke up at 5 in the morning and couldn't go back to sleep. I don't know about you, but I would much rather stay asleep and go to bed super fucking late then go to bed at a normal person time and wake up all throughout the night. I don't know why it happens, but it's always been the case. Whenever I go to bed like early, it's not a restful sleep at all. Bench volume is definitely catching up a little bit, but it's okay because we still have our strong days where, you know, Monday, Tuesday might not feel good, but then the Thursday, Friday feels really, really good. So ultimately, it's not something that causes concern or merits any sort of change because we have a predictable trend that we're noticing. Like we see that bench is moving really well on the later days of the week, which, one, if you have 2 bench days a week that are solid, like, your money. Second, I'll be competing on a weekend, obviously, so that's going to make things a lot, you know, more predictable when it comes to peaking for the meet, which, by the way, I picked a meet. I will be competing May 2nd. Eric Lapointe, for those of you who don't know, his Instagram is Pizza Bloat. He currently, he pulls 700 at 163. Dude's an absolute monster. He also owns Odyssey Barbell in Massachusetts or New Hampshire. It's like adjacent to those states. I don't know the difference, but he's going to be hosting a meet May 2nd. Not at Odyssey. It's somewhere in New Hampshire, but that's the meet I'll be doing, and it'll be on the fat pad. So, you know, this bench is going to be juicy. I'm going to go finish my sets, and then we're going to move on to some Larson presses.
Definitely not the same.
Thank you. What the fuck? Okay. I don't know if you understand how insane that is. Angelo Fortino, for those of you who are watching this who don't know who he is, he's an 83 kilo powerlifter. Pretty strong dude. But he just doubled. That was 700 pounds for a double. The American record is 750. The world record is like 720, whatever. And he just smoked that double. Angelo, I might be totally talking out of my ass and I might fail this tomorrow, but I might have to try to do that just to remind you that you're just a deadlift hero. No, but for real, that deadlift is... The current American record is 750, and literally, I'm bringing it back. That rep, like, he could have done a set of 5. That's retarded. I finished my workout today. I feel really fresh. Normally, I would have a lot more lower back soreness today after yesterday's squat session. And by tomorrow, it usually clears up, but the fact that there's less today probably means I'll feel better tomorrow than I did last Wednesday, so I'm really hoping for a solid deadlift day. And then, you guys won't be seeing me here at the end of the week because I'm going to be in Tennessee coaching at Garrett's meet. So I think I'm going to be lifting at Maxed Out Gym, which for the OG powerlifters still watching, that's Pete Rubish's gym in Tennessee. So maybe he'll be there. I have no idea. I'm going to ask Garrett to see what Pete is doing because I would love to meet him, love to train with him. Like, it's just, that gym is historic in a way. Like, I remember when I first started watching powerlifting on YouTube, like Pete, Candido, Masthetics, who else was there? Lane, Bryce, like all these guys were the OGs of you know, competitive powerlifters on YouTube. And it's crazy that, like, I mean, one, there are guys like Pete who are still doing their thing, but then it's also crazy how, like, you know, I've talked about this in like the last video, how like I said, like the hunter becomes the gatherer. Like it's crazy how like a lot of young kids get influenced by these guys like Johnny, and then like these young kids just like pass them, and like the people who you once looked up to and learned from are now looking up to and learning from you. It's unbelievable. So I'm really excited for this trip. Daniela is also coming with us. We have like this really nice Airbnb like in the middle of the fucking woods. It's like a cabin. And I'm probably gonna film Garrett's meet. So you guys will get a vlog of my lifting and like just me vlogging in general. I haven't vlogged in a while just because I don't do much in my day-to-day besides work and come to the gym. But while I'm there, I'm definitely gonna vlog, and then I will film Garrett's meet, which I'm anticipating a mid-1900s total from him at 198, which is just unbelievable. Oh shit. And camera got a little wobbly there. And I'm probably gonna make a nice edit of him. His prep could not have gone better. Like every single lift was just on point. And I'm excited to see it all come together. So I'm done for today. My forearms are so achy, and like I have clients who ask me, they're like, you know, what can I do for this? Like I'm just achy, whatever. And like, I often have drills for people to do, but sometimes my answer is like, you can do this, but like, if you're competitive in powerlifting and have to push frequency, like you're just gonna be achy sometimes. Like that, there's just a level of achiness in powerlifting that you just kind of have to say, all right, suck it up. This is just the day to day. And that's kind of where I'm at right now with bench press, with the frequency and volume having gone back up. I'm definitely not dying by any means, but some, you know, little aches, little soreness has been coming back. But yeah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna try to get to bed early tonight again, even though I'm skeptical that I'll be able to stay asleep considering what happened last night. But I really need to reverse this schedule, especially since I'm gonna be flying and need to be up early, both to travel and then also to coach. So no more of this weird sociopath schedule. Yeah, that's it for today. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I promise. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't worry. Don't miss me. I'll see you tomorrow. So frustrated with that single. It always happens that when I don't pause and get past like the low 600s, that I just yank on the bar so fucking hard and it just throws me out of position. Like I'm almost better at pausing my deadlifts than not. And it's just all about the intent and how when I pause or have the intent to pause, I really stay in my legs well. And then I'm just always trying to move fast whenever I don't. So really frustrated with that single. I mean, it's 7, but I have to be able to move that better and stay in my legs longer rather than letting my hips shoot up so hard. As you guys are about to see, I'm gonna show you my 496 set of 10 pause. I had a 3x10 today, and how well I stay in my legs is something that I need to carry over to my regular deadlift. And it's just, it clicks sometimes, but it's not right now, and I just need to do better. So I'm gonna show you guys that set. I already got done with my 3 sets of 10. I feel way better than last week in terms of like how I feel after the set. It's usually the case that you can tell you're making adaptations even if the weight's not going up based on like how you feel after all of the work. Like we can agree that a 3x10 is not only challenging your strength, but also like your work capacity, your respiratory endurance, cardiovascular endurance, and I just feel a lot more fresh. I was able to go into sets quicker than I was last time, so I'm very confident that this is progressing well. I'm gonna be finishing up this block in about 2 weeks, transition into like a peaking block, so to speak, and then start my meet prep a few weeks after that. So I'm really excited for that. I really am confident knowing what works, and you know, this time, especially with it being a local meet, like I am going to stick to my convictions of what works and not try to like do what, you know, I'm not gonna get cold feet and deviate from what I know works. We're just gonna have a good meet, man. We're gonna have a good meet. My buddy Matt Cronin, which obviously I've mentioned his name a ton of times in the past several videos. You guys know who he is by this point. He actually lives really close to where the meet is, so he's gonna come handle me for the day, which is awesome. Like I'm very, very good friends with Matt. Like I've known him for years, and then obviously would just be super comfortable having him be my handler for the day. And I know that he'd have a good idea of what I have in the tank. So, you know, I just have to put together a good meet prep, and kind of all the cards are lined up for me to perform really well on the day.
Whoever's watching this, please let me go. Help. We're at United Barbell, something 9 Gaza Boulevard, Farmingdale, New York, 11799. Please help.
So, I'm very confident that my back's getting stronger, because back when I was doing seal rows under TSG a couple months ago, the 60s were rough. They felt harder than that. My range of motion would get cut off real quick as I got fatigued, but I feel like I can burn through these 70s now, which is not a lot. Upper back's kind of weak, but progress is progress. So after this set, I have one more. Gonna move on to some pull downs, some side planks. Those of you in the guided programming for CNATs know how the side plank game is going. They're hard, especially weighted. Tomorrow I leave for Tennessee. I'm gonna be coaching Garrett Fear at his meet. Openers right now are set at 292 kilos, which is 645 for squat, 177.5, which is 391 for bench, and then his deadlift opener is 340, which is 750 pounds. I'm super excited to be a part of this performance, because he, however stupidly, has attempted 800 many times in meets and missed, and this will be the one where he probably pulls it on a second attempt. So, don't have anything else to say. I'm just really hungry right now, so I'm gonna order food because I order food to the gym every day because I don't prepare and pack food because I'm a degenerate. Just blaze.
Your worst nightmare, it's my first night here. And this girl right here, who knows what she knows. So I'm going through a phone. If she go to the bathroom and her purse right there, I don't trust these hoes at all. But that's just a result of me paying attention to all these women that think they're men with the same intentions. I told strippers I'm out to try to gain attention. Even a couple points that I'm ashamed to mention. But Weezy and Stunner, my only role models. Half and Jordan, my only role models.
That's cool.
That's why I walk around with all this gold on, and every time I run into these niggas, they want no problems.
So, what you guys just saw was not another angle of the first 700-pound deadlift. I would not recommend anybody does this in their training because working up to a high exertion single twice in a session, especially after a whole workout, is not a good thing at all for fatigue management. Like, that is definitely going to bleed over into my next few sessions. But because I am interested in exercise science, I wanted to test a theory that has been around for a while called post-activation potentiation, which in simple terms is the concept of being able to produce temporary, prolonged increase in force production after a bout of, near maximal exertion prior. So like, if you did singles at 85, 90% and then retested your top end strength hours later, there are some studies to suggest that there is an increase in force production later on. And I'm not gonna get into all the science of why they think this happens, but I've seen this happen with myself before. And for those of you who follow powerlifters like John Hack, he did a full meet last year. I think it was hybrids meet. He did a full meet and then did a deadlift meet immediately after. So he competed, had like an hour or two to chill out, and then pulled again. And the second time around, he pulled more. So yes, that was slower than my first pull, but it was paused. Positioning off the floor was cleaner. And it was after a single 3x10, a bunch of back work, a bunch of core work. You would think that you're smashed after all of that. But I just wanted to test this theory. I wanted to show you guys, this doesn't pose any benefit to my training. I'm not gonna do a whole workout and then pull a single afterward as a training implementation. But the fact that this is a concept that has some validity to it is it's mind-boggling. To me, it's really cool that there's still stuff that we are not 100% certain on about training and strength training and all that sort of stuff. So I did this kind of out of boredom and curiosity. I had already finished my workout. I was just hanging out here. I'm done now. That was it. I'm done. This is the end of the video. So closing out the video with a 700-pound deadlift is not bad. But yeah, I just thought it was a really cool thing that I wanted to test, and it worked. I took fewer warm-ups than I did warming up to 700 the first time. Each one felt faster, despite having like less energy. Like, I feel less hyped, less focused right now, but force production felt all there. But yeah, that's how I'm gonna end the video on what the fuck is strength training actually. Who the hell knows? Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Remember, there are no bad days, and I will see you guys in my vlog in Tennessee. I promise I'm gonna vlog. It's on video now. I've said it so you guys have proof that I will vlog my trip in Tennessee. And take care. I'll see you in the next video.